feminism has a wide range of definitions. The dictionary suggests that feminism means the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. Some argue that feminism is not synonymous with gender equality, but rather similar to female superiority. What is your definition of feminism? I share my definition of feminism with the famous statement from poet G.D. Anderson. Feminism isn't about making women stronger. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives our strength. For me, feminism is about proving the belief that women can't be leaders wrong.
Fortunately, we live in a society where women are given more opportunities. The girls of my generation live in a better world for women than that of my mother's. Likewise, my mother's generation enjoyed more rights than my grandmother's. However, even in today's society, gender equality remains to be one of the world's most pressing issues. For instance, the UN Millennium Development Goals listed gender equality and empowering women as one of its core goals to reach closer toward international peace. And on this journey of ours to reach gender equality, our most imperative agenda is to help women rise up as leaders. Beijing's Fourth World Conference on Women that took place back in 1995 addressed women empower and decision-making as one of its core strategic objectives for women's empowerment. Fast forward, in 2017 now, the lack of women's representation in decision-making positions is still the most critical obstacle to tackle. Statistics paint the picture quite clearly. Fact 1 in 4 Americans claim that there are no women in leadership positions at their current jobs. Fact 2, the number of women in the parliaments worldwide has nearly doubled in the last 2 decades, yet women still only account for 22% of the parliamentary seats. Fact 3, out of all the worldwide CEOs, only 3 to 4% are women. As you can see, women have a restricted access to leadership positions. Now, the question is, why do we still participate and contribute to global patriarchy? Why do we fail to break free from the society's misogynic perception that women can't be leaders? The lack of female leaders is the reason behind the disparity and at the same time a way to equality. Let's look at the media. The unequal representation in the executive ranks of public television and radio, for example, has been an unresolved problem. Consequently, the media depicts stereotypical views of women and serves as a main source of promoting male superiority, which in turn significantly manipulates how the public views gender roles. And this is especially true of young adults and adolescents. So shall we talk about us? Here in this school, gender equality is often a neglected issue because it is not as overly explicit. However, misogyny is still alive and well around us. Our boys and girls are persistently exposed to sexist humor online. We are exposed to lyrics that objectify women in hip-hop music. I'll give you an example. This is actually one of the cleaner ones. Why do women make better soldiers? Does anyone know the answer? Because they bleed for a week and don't die. See? And oftentimes we dismiss them with laughter, but the contents compel us to internalize the patriarchy. Women who consume media depicting them in non-stereotypical roles tend to have higher self-esteem, more leadership aspirations, and more progressive views about women. In contrast, women who have low self-esteem, the ones with high levels of insecurity due to the harmful media influence, they tend to gravitate more towards the traditional roles. As a personal anecdote, back in 8th grade, I suffered for a short time of depression and a severe eating disorder, resulting from the pressure from my peers who insisted that the girls without ideal bodies are not pretty enough. My self-confidence hit the floor, and at that time, I saw myself as someone inferior, not as a leader. And beyond my experience, I witnessed blatant discrimination of girls on a daily basis. Girls' sports teams don't capture as much attention as boys' team. Double standards are imposed against a girl when she engages in a sexual intercourse with her male partner. When a girl asks a guy for winter formal or prom, normally our reaction would be, man, she's got balls. Would you not say this is attributing leadership as a masculine quality and depreciating a girl's right to act as a leader? Gender inequality is thriving everywhere. We are persistently and unconsciously bolstering the belief that women are weaker, inferior, and less capable than men. It is time for us, as educated global citizens, to start staying more alert to sexism, starting from here, from this very school ground. I came from a country that historically, socially, and culturally oppresses women. The Korean government under the President Park Chung-hee set up a suburban village where Korean women were recruited as sexual slaves for the entertainment of American soldiers occupying Korea, so the government could extract profits out of the sexual industry. Additionally, 1 in 5 women in Seoul had cosmetic surgery, with many doing so out of the necessity as outside beauty becomes an expectation for employees in the competitive Korean job market. These barriers for women are evident within the family units as well. When I was young, I lived under my grandparents' nurture. I call my grandpa the evil tiger for many reasons, including how he violently suppressed grandma every night he filled himself with alcohol. But to grandma, physical violence was never her major concern. What frustrated her the most was how her husband denounced her right to learn just because of the fact that she is a woman. He belittled her right to lead her own life. And witnessing this domestic violence, I earned my voice of equality. Grandpa passed away 2 years ago, and as an independent woman, my grandma set her on a new path to education. She joined a study group with her peers that studies English bi-weekly. Starting with the alphabets, studying a new language during her mid-60s was indeed a slow and arduous process. Every time I go back in summer and tutor her English, I'd have to explain the same concept at least 13 times in order for her to grasp it. She would laugh and say, I guess I'm old. But regardless of her age, she invests all her spare time reviewing and developing her skills, and it is amazing to watch her improve every time. I call her a true leader. You see, the truth is women are capable. Women are just as qualified as men are to lead. Sojourner Truth, an anti-slavery activist, delivered this message in her famous speech, Ain't I a Woman? We do as much, we eat as much, and we want as much. So ain't I a woman? However, our society claims that there are undefeatable differences between men and women that places one group in a more favorable leadership position than another. For example, it was long believed that men are more energetic than women on average. However, our studies show that this particular trait has a high degree of variability. About 1.6% of the tested women scored the highest possible score of this trait. On the other hand, about the same percentage of men were at the other end of the scales, in which they scored the lowest possible score. In other words, gender does not determine the traits that contribute to our leadership. In fact, we are all poised for success in leadership roles. Now, for men, I can't emphasize more than the fact that we need your help. We need more men to be involved in the promotion of gender equality. I had a chance to partake in the annual National History Day competition last year, where I presented the history of Chinese and Korean comfort women with my 2 amazing partners. Comfort women refers to women and girls who were forced into sexual slavery by the Imperial Japanese Army before and during World War II. During our researching process, I spent time in Seoul participating in the weekly protest against the Japanese government, who conceals history and refuses to properly compensate the survivors. Hundreds of men and women gathered in front of the Seoul's Japanese embassy and fought for the justice of comfort women survivors. And standing in the middle of the crowd, I learned how much change we can put forth if all of us, men and women, work together as leaders. It is so much more difficult to break a bundle of sticks than a single stick. Collaboration between men and women is a key solution to reinforce women's status in society. You don't have to be the next Margaret Thatcher or Oprah Winfrey to showcase your capacity. To borrow Hillary Clinton's words, there is no one formula for how women should lead our lives. It is imperative to understand that we come from different educational and cultural backgrounds, possess talents unique to one another, and share different physical features. Utilize your own platform to advocate for other women and for yourself to make changes to the world. While Malala blogged on BBC about the educational oppression of women and children back in Pakistan, in Washington, D.C. just 2 months ago, diverse groups of American women stood together in solidarity to fight for the protection of their rights against the new President Donald Trump. Voice your right to equality with whatever you have. The ways you can promote gender equality is boundless. Whether you're a liar or late legend steer like my grandma, aspire to be a decision maker. Don't let gender inhibit your chance of becoming a pioneer. Therefore, I want you to persistently reach for as many opportunities as you can and never underestimate your ability. Crush the double standards and seize the leadership and decision-making roles. When odds are against you to lead, I want you to defy the odds. Only then we can achieve gender equality completely. Let's prove them wrong. Thank you.